On to the possibility of a rail strike. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to bring a bill to the floor today as Congress tries to help avert a potentially devastating national rail strike. Lawmakers expect to pass legislation in the coming days in hopes of reaching a resolution with union workers before a December 9th deadline to ratify contracts. A strike during the holiday season could cost the U.S. economy $2 billion each day. That's according to one assessment. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang has been following this story for us, and she's joining us now from the White House. All right, Weijia, so, let's get into it. What can we expect from lawmakers? What will likely be included in the legislation being introduced in Congress today? Will it just be, something to stop a strike from happening, or it will be something to make these union members, at least to ease their concerns moving forward?
No, it does not do that. Basically, it is a mechanism to adopt the agreement that the Biden administration brokered back in September. And at the time, President Biden took a victory lap. He said this is, a great deal. He basically introduced it as a done deal. You can see here that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying in a statement that she wants to use this tool, essentially, that they have to prevent a catastrophic nationwide rail strike. She's not the only one. In fact, yesterday, President Biden met with her, along with the three other congressional top leaders, to talk about, the legislative agenda for the rest of the year. But certainly this was at the top of priorities. And we spoke to these lawmakers afterward. I asked Majority Leader Schumer whether he thought he had the votes in the Senate to pass this. And he didn't say yes. He said that he's working on it, that they are trying, and, that he'll see. But right now, I can tell you at least the Progressive Caucus is unhappy with this move because they are saying it's basically taking away the right to strike from these rail workers. And Senator Bernie Sanders has been very vocal about this. He tweeted about the paid sick leave that workers are demanding. He said, "Don't tell me that the rail industry cannot afford it," basically saying that, last year they spent $25.5 billion in buybacks and dividends. And so he's saying that there's no reason why this agreement does not include the paid sick leave that workers want, which is the issue that is holding up the agreement. And so if Congress moves forward anyway, if they have the votes, I think they will still have to answer to a lot of rail workers about, why the administration was not able to broker a deal that they all agreed on.
Yeah, we're talking about a pro-union president basically asking Congress to do something that would weaken the power of unions. Right. So you can understand why the more progressive Democrats would be unhappy with that. But, I'm curious, what authority does Congress have in this sort of situation? Can they intervene when it, I know the rail workers are probably sort of under a special, in a special category when it comes to Congress being able to intervene on these sort of issues?
Well, they have a menu of options that they can take, and this is just one of them. And it has been done in the past because so much of the country's goods travel by rail, by freight. And so if that is halted in any way, of course, it's going to disrupt the supply chain and impact the economy. When you look at the climate right now, we're already facing inflation, high prices. We're about to hit the Christmas season. And that is why these parties agree that they have to protect the economy, which is already vulnerable. Bipartisanship is not common in Washington, and for it to exist on this shows how much both parties believe it's a big deal. Congress can also extend the deadline for negotiations. They can also force an arbitrator to come in and, help with both sides. But the president decided to call on them to adopt this legislation that would essentially put the current agreement into place. Again, I think because, in the risk assessment, you just mentioned that huge figure, $2 billion a day. The White House also says it could cost 800,000 jobs in just 2 weeks. And so when they assess that, that's where the decision came to move forward.
All right, Weijia, thank you very much.
Sure.